let's go.
Hi, Kat Chancellor here with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And next week is Easter, and I have a couple of Easter treats that I want to give to my family, something I can give to my mom. So I'm going to make some real fast little Easter baskets, little Easter boxes that you can put together real fast if you find yourself in a pinch for a little Easter basket. This is real fast. It won't be a very long video, but I'm just using stuff that I have in my craft room. I went and found an Easter sentiment from a paper pumpkin kit that was saying Happy Easter. I went and found my daisy lane and my punches in order to make some daisy punches to embellish my little basket. And this happens to be the Cottage Gingham 12 by 12 DSP that just really has some neat kind of basket looking patterns that I picked to create this. So it's a fast project, but if you're looking for something for Easter, this is definitely up your alley. So let's go ahead and get started. So you'll need a piece of DSP 7¼ square, and you're going to score 2 inches on all sides, and that's going to create your box. You will also need a 1-inch strip 1 by 12, and that will be kind of the handle for your basket. Using a bolt folder, go ahead and fold towards the side that you're going to want to see on the outside of your basket on all the scored folds. And then grab a piece of snips, and you're going to snip up to that score line on the either side. The outside tabs are going to be mitered using your scissors, where you're just going to cut just a little edge off of each of those outside tabs. Apply glue to the mitered tabs and glue them to the inside of each panel that's going to form your box. To attach the handle, either by using a brad or just with attaching it with glue, I mark the center of the side that has the tabs folded, which is the strongest side of your box. And my measurements are here, approximately 1 inch from the bottom and approximately 1.6 inches from the edge will make your middle. I use a bone folder just to very gently curl my handles for my box. I'm only going to demonstrate using the brad for one of these baskets. In this case, it's the one with the pretty weave pattern. And after I have marked the middle, I'm going to use just a hole punch to punch through both sides. I'm also going to mark about an inch from the bottom of my handle, and I'm going to add another hole, and then I'm going to attach it with a brad. And these are just some brads that I had in my craft room, and they're called the rounded square brads. Here I use the Happy Hibiscus 3D embossing folder to emboss and cut the Happy Hibiscus blooms. I will then stamp using the two-step photopolymer stamp, using the stamp that has the image on it, and I'm just going to stamp using peach pie ink. And I'm then going to take, using my stamping blends, I'm going to add Daffodil Delight to the center of the flower, and then I will use some peach pie stamping blends just to kind of add a little bit more color around the flower. And then I'm going to cut the edges, and I will use a sponge dauber and the peach pie ink just to sponge around the edges of all the blooms. Using the little flower dies, which have two different sizes, as well as the leaf dies, I'm going to use some peach pie and some Daffodil Delight cardstock, as well as some Mossy Meadow and some Granny Apple Green. I also cut a couple of leaves out of some iridescent cardstock. Using my Tim Holtz Sizzix shaping kit, I'm going to shape all my flowers before I apply them onto my basket. Now this is just a tip. For these flowers, I kind of shaped the middle, but I also turned them upside down and I just shaped the outside edge, which really kind of gave them a little bit more depth and dimension. So here's another tip for you. I used the Distress crayons, and I believe they're in Vintage Photo, and I put the crayon on my finger and just kind of rubbed it over the relief of the flower, and it really made that centerpiece, accented it and made it kind of pop out. So that's an extra tip for you. So here's another technique. I just kind of took the flower and separated the petals, and then using my shaping tool, I just kind of curled those edges again, just to give it a little bit more dimension like a real flower. I then attached the flower to the brad using a dimensional so that the handle could move freely. Using a circle die from that same set, I went ahead and stamped my sentiment in pecan pie and then embellished it with my little flowers and added that with some beautiful little gems, and these are actually the 2025 2027 in colors. So I just kind of added those and then began to assemble my embellishments on my basket. Now the embellishments for the other two baskets, I am using the Pretty Floral Dies, and I'm using Bubble Bath and Petunia Pop. I'm also coloring the flowers on the Bubble Bath with some Bubble Bath stamping blends, which just kind of adds just a little bit more color before I add the other layer. Now this particular set is going to be in the new catalog, so I wanted to spend a little bit of time to kind of show you how you can assemble this for when that new catalog comes out. I think that this is a real keeper. So I use Petunia Pop to stamp with a sponge dauber around the Bubble Bath cardstock, and then for the Petunia Pop pieces that were cut out of the dies, the centerpiece I used a sponge dauber, and I sponged those a little bit darker using Berry Burst. To match the DSP, all the leaves were cut out of either Granny Apple Green or Garden Green. What is really nice about the die cut pieces for this suite is that you can separate some of the blooms from the 3 bloom stalks and combine it with that larger bloom, and that's exactly what I did to embellish one basket. Well, here you have it, 4 baskets that I made. You see how I have filled them with some Easter bunnies and my favorite chocolates, these Ferrero Rocher chocolates. So this was my beginning Easter basket. I used the punches that I had in the craft room from the Daisy Lane set to create these pretty little daisies, and I included a brad. I used the same paper. This is the Gingham Cottage. This is retired, but I did use products from the new annual catalog, and they are from the Pretty Florals, and it includes these wonderful little flowers that I've added here, as well as a sentiment that I got from a retired set called the Easter Bunny set. That's where I got that sentiment, and it fits this wonderful dove Easter bunny. This is another set that I made, and this one is some of the products from the new catalog. Beautiful paper in the new catalog. It's called the Florals in Bloom, and it comes with a number of dies and stamp sets, and I use the dies to create these wonderful flowers here. And then this one I love because I believe this is an online exclusive, and this is from the woven Textures DSP, and it had this wonderful basket woven paper. So I use that, and then another online exclusive, the Happy Hibiscus, and I use that in peach pie to create these wonderful little flowers that go around this box, and it fits a nice big Godiva bunny. So there you go. Many of these products you will find in the new annual catalog. So that's a very nice sneak peek. If you haven't already, please hit like. All products are available in my online store. There will be a link provided in the comments. Go to my blog for project details. If you're looking for a demo, please consider joining my team, especially because you'll be able to take advantage of a 20% discount, and with the new catalog coming out, that's going to be really a good deal. If you are a demo and like my content, please support my channel by hitting like, share, and leave a comment. This is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. Happy stamping.